Hi guys and welcome back. We got a massive drop yesterday and now I believe that this was a setup, guys. You should not trust this move to the downside. I will show you exactly what I believe is going to happen next year for Bitcoin and the reasons for the actual drop, and also from where we could potentially expect a major bounce back to the upside above $70,000. So if you think that is interesting, make sure to stick around here, and now let's directly get into it. First of all, let's talk about that. Oh, let me actually move this here a little bit more. Let's talk about that we got a massive open interest flush here on Bitcoin overall. When we're looking here where the open interest was sitting yesterday, so look here at the total number at the bottom, we were at $37 billion. Echoing, yeah, sorry, it's the room, you know, I cannot do anything against that. Or is here?
Oh, sorry. On the camera, the microphone on the camera was on. So now it's fine, right? Let me know in the chat, guys. It should be fine now. Is it okay? Yeah, I had two mics by accident. Here on the camera is one, and I forgot to turn it off. Volume is not low. I know it's not low, guys. There's an issue with your sound, guys. So let's continue here. The open interest got a massive flush yesterday. Like I said, from $37 billion, were almost wiped out $1 billion worth of liquid, leverage here in the market, and that of course has an effect. You know, that was one of the reasons why we were dropping to the downside. So, but another major reason why we went down is the dollar index. Every time when the dollar index is pumping to the upside, all risk on assets are going to the downside. So, and that includes Bitcoin, crypto, and other assets. As you can see here, there was a massive pump, and now you're potentially wondering what was the reason for that massive pump in the DXY. I will tell you, it was the unemployment numbers in the US. They came out lower than expected, so that means the job market is fine, and that means then on the other side that inflation is still sticky and is not coming down. So there's no reason for interest rate cuts or for quantitative easing. That is at least what we would expect. Now, I'm not saying there is no potential for an interest rate cut, because I think there is still a really slim chance for it, because of all these banking lenders in the US are about to fail and they need to get bailed out. So that money needs to come from somewhere, and the only way to do that is through interest rate cuts or quantitative easing, where they go and print more money. So that's why there is still a slim chance that next week, when we have the FOMC meeting and CPI is coming out, that we are going to see either no rate cut or we get a really small rate cut. And I would prefer to see a really small one than no one. But in any case, at least we don't get a race again. Here, when it comes to DXY, I believe on Monday, we're going to see a retracement back to the downside. We tested here, not really long, the resistance, the former support level that turned into resistance that we stepped through here. I believe that level is going to hold, the 104.77 level here on the DXY. And we will come down a little bit. And as long as we are not trading above that level and go higher, so because here's another level that we need to watch, around the 100, what is it here, 105.5 more or less. That is a massive level. If we would see a break of that level here, then we are in big trouble. Then Bitcoin might be close to break under $60,000 if we would see the DXY reaching these kind of levels here. So then another reason that contributed a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit, to the fact that we were going down were again negative outflows. You saw here overall, most ETF providers were not buying at all. Here BitB was selling, ARC was the only one buying, and here Grayscale was again selling. There was another contributing factor, and then now what I believe is that this was just a manipulated move to the downside to liquid everybody that came too late to the party to trade here with us. And now they're going to reverse that whole thing here once again, and hence why I believe that this is a big trap, because overall the sentiment is that here the majority of traders is right now bearish. You see here 50% is bearish and only 32% is bullish, and the rest is neutral. So the majority is bearish here, and that tells me that a lot of people have right now the wrong intuition, you know, where the market is heading to. I don't believe that we are going much lower. Of course, we can still go a little bit lower, but not much. And that will lead to a reversal rather sooner than later. So, and we can also see that here in the Bitcoin chart, as long as here on the daily, we are holding above the $69,400 level and close the weekly candle above that level here, I'm not really concerned, you know. So this was just a leverage flush because we were getting into really big resistance. And I also mentioned that yesterday when we tested it, that this is a big resistance level and we should be prepared for some sort of reaction to the downside, even though I was anticipating that we would immediately snap back to the upside. So I was not expecting that we are coming down and stay here a little bit. But regardless, as long as we are holding here the $69,400 level, we are fine, you know. So we are slightly above it. We are playing a little bit jumping rope with that level here today. But let it be like this, you know. So I'm going to show you now here the other levels that we need to look at. When we're going here to this daily chart, see we're here also below the $70,800 level. That was a crucial level to maintain to get here all the way up to $74,000, which we of course did not hold yesterday. But in the worst case scenario, guys, we can come down here to the mid-range around $65,000, and that should actually hold and send us back to the upside. So, but this is really the absolutely worst case scenario that I see in the short term. And longer term, there we should not forget that we have some inefficiencies here in certain candles. So for example, here, down here is an inefficiency, and also down here is an inefficiency, an imbalance that potentially we could touch at some point. But I don't give a lot of merit to it that it's going to happen anytime soon. No, not BYBIT. Let's see where the actual resistance is sitting here right now. The volume, guys, the volume cannot be low. If I make it any louder, you know, so then the microphone will overreact, you know, so then it's too loud. So resistance levels. Let me actually refresh that really quick. So let's see. How is this here looking? Come on. Okay. Sorry, guys. Internet for stuff like this a little bit slow because the stream is eating a lot. But let's have a look here. Where are our hot areas? Come on. I should have not messed around with this. Okay, here we go, guys. Here we go. I was kind of like here. So next, bigger support area. So you see what I mean here to the downside. If we lose the $69,400 level, the next stop would be 69, and after that, a long time nothing until here these hotter areas of 68,200, 67,800, and then 67,200. And the lower we go here, the more hotter areas we are seeing all the way down to your 65. See here the concentration between 64, 800 and 65 to 100. That is the major key support level on the higher time frames for us now. But you see on the way down, there are still a lot of other buy areas that bears need to eat through to actually get the price down there. So again, I don't put a lot of merit to it that we are reaching that, but you also see here now that a lot of sell orders came in around the $70,400 level, which again I mentioned multiple times over the last the last couple of weeks, that this is a significant level that we need to break to be able to move here into higher levels. So now it turned again into a major resistance level that we need to break through. So and now the big question is here enough steam left right now currently at these levels to get there, or do we gonna get first another push to the downside before we go up? I'm gonna show you in a moment how that actually could play out here. So first of all, the liquidation levels, I see here again some over leveraged longs, that not crazy over leveraged, just a little bit over leveraged coming in. Surprisingly, not a lot of shorts were shorting this here to the downside. So I would have expected a lot of shorts piling in here based on the liquidation levels. So that's quite surprising to see. But this also shows you that even people that usually are shorting were not convinced that this is a solid move now to the downside, or they got also caught off guard, like all the people that were long. So there's also a potential case. When we're going to the liquidation heat map, let's have a look at that. Yeah, you see here, it makes sense. You know, here is not a lot of liquidity to the upside. So that means a lot of people were not able to short this. You know, some people, but not a lot of people. And now the biggest concentration of liquidity, the imminent closest level, is here around $70,200, and then below us $68,700. So over the weekend, honestly, between today and tomorrow, I don't think a lot will happen here. You know, I still believe that we're going to hold above $69,000. And because the CME gap is, no, not the CME gap, the CME closed yesterday at $69,650. I don't believe that we're going to see major swings until CME opens tomorrow. So most likely we just bounce up and down here in a narrow range. Let me get here another chart. I had here somewhere another chart that we could use. Was it here, CME gaps? Let's use this one here for the time being. And it's 50 minutes chart, and I wanted remove all drawings. Because look at this, guys. It's really simple. The problem that I have right now with the current Bitcoin price, for that we are potentially coming here a little bit lower, is that once we're getting a big cascade move like this, a big liquidation candle, we usually go a little bit sideways and then get another leg to the downside. It doesn't have to be a steep one, but usually we get another leg, and only then we start ranging here before we find momentum to continue to go back to the upside. So there is a way how you can see potentially how low we're gonna reach here. So for that you need the Fibonacci extension retracement level. So and that would point to the 0.5, 0.618 level around $68,840. That could be after we finished here the sideways movement, the next target, and from there usually we bounce and go back to the upside. You see this also here, like I mentioned, in other liquidation candles, for example here, where we did the same thing, liquidation candle, we came a little bit up again, and then we went one more time a little bit lower, then we came up, you know, and pushed here higher. So I'm pretty sure that we are more or less here in alignment. Here from there. Here, look at this. So we went a little bit lower. This also, let me see here. Yeah, doesn't make it better. This is a bad example, guys. So, but overall, you'll see it in other coins that I'm going to show you in a moment, that this usually works with the 0.5. This was here just a really bad example. It happens. We're live, so I should have checked that before I started the stream, but it's fine. It's fine, guys. So something else that let's actually see how many people are here. Oh, nice, guys. I want to have a quick look in the chat. Let's see what's going on here in the chat. Yeah, exactly. So sorry, guys. I think the volume is fine. You need to change something on your side. So there's a lot of people that are hearing me. Panic mode. Let's see. Guys, chill in the chat. So or I have to start removing people. So calm down now. It's fine. The sound is fine. No reason to get angry here. We're all cool. Let's keep going here, So something else that I was mentioning over the last couple of days, I want to come back to that for a moment and give you again a little bit more of information on what's actually happening. Remember, guys, I told you, go to BYBIT, open an account, deposit $100 in there, make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and also activate the notifications, because it's really important for what's coming on Monday with BYBIT together. That is something, again, I'm not profiting of that at all. Everything goes to you guys. And what we're going to do is a really special giveaway. You don't need to open a trade on BYBIT for that. The only thing that we're asking is create an account, deposit $100, and be subscribed to the channel and activate the notifications. That's all what we're asking for. More information will come out on Monday when I finalized everything. We are basically done, me and BYBIT, to talk about this. We are finalizing everything on Monday before I release my video. And then you're gonna see exactly what we are doing. And this is unseen on crypto YouTube. Nobody else is doing what I'm going to do with BYBIT for our community here. So make sure again that you go here under the description of the video and get a BYBIT account. So, but if you're not able to get one, don't worry, guys. I got you covered. We also gonna do that in the future with other platforms too. So if you cannot have a BYBIT account, just give it a little bit of time. We also gonna cover you. Maybe I can even do it simultaneously. That's something that I have to find out with another platform. But first, it will be BYBIT. So now, the Bitcoin dominance, that was the other thing that we need to talk about here today. And here on the Bitcoin dominance, we saw a major push here to the upside. First of all, because Bitcoin was going up, and then because Bitcoin was going down, the dominance was pushing to the upside because people were again converting their altcoins into Bitcoin to flee in the safe haven asset. I'm also really sorry, guys, I lispel a little bit. I have a blister on the side of my tongue, so it's hurting a lot when I speak. So I'm sorry about that too, if you can hear it. It's quite really annoying. But I'm fine, should be fine. Tomorrow, after tomorrow, should be completely gone. So the dominance pushed it to the upside back to the 55% level. We are slightly above that, but we are still more or less following our trajectory where we were anticipating a move into that region with a volatile move back to the downside, and then we come slightly up again, and then we finally go completely here to the lower levels and start the major altcoin season. Now, how high can we potentially go here? If Bitcoin is not turning around over the next 48 hours, we could technically stay a little bit above that level. But as you can see here, the 55.65 level is acting as resistance overall. So worst case from there, we're going to see then the move back to the downside. The USDT dominance is trying to break above the 4.56% level. Again, that would be really bad, especially while we are forming here right now a W-shaped pattern. Let's see where that would bring us by. In any case, I'm not gonna like it. Yeah, so 4.73%, that would be really bad actually if we would get to that level, because that would mean that Bitcoin would be potentially in the low 60,000s if we would actually reach that kind of level. Ethereum is Also going sideways, the same like Bitcoin. We got here multiple retests to the downside that immediately got bought up again. So that is a good sign that we see some strength here overall. But also here, to be out of the woods, we need a reclaim of $3,760 approximately. There's right now a former resistance level. So yeah, former support turned again resistance. So that would be the level where I would say we are out of the woods for Ethereum and continuing with the upwards trajectory. So otherwise, to the downside, worst case scenario for me right now, $3,600 more or less here on the Fibonacci retracement levels. So expect for now that we would get another small leg to the downside, but then it will be to the upside. So don't get trapped across the market when you see that last flush to the downside of what is that, 3% more or less, you know, a 3% move in Ethereum, in Bitcoin, how much we're talking here in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is 2%. So 2% on Bitcoin, 3% on Ethereum. So don't get scared out of your positions, guys. Really, really important. So now, when we're going here to altcoins, Near Protocol, of course, saw also a major decline into the downside. Remember, on my spreadsheet, I have Near, and I have no stop loss on it because it's a cross position. I'm still holding this, guys, because if I would get liquidated, it would be under $4. So I don't believe that this is going to happen. That's why I keep that position. The only trade that we lost so far is Fetch. So which is, it's okay. You know, we cannot win all the trades. But for now, that's the only one that we have lost out of, I don't know, 13, out of 16 trades from which I have 4 still running. So it means out of 12 trades, 1 losing trade, that's fine, you know, so there's no big issue with that. Now back to Near. Here the same thing. Huge possibility that we're coming down here to the 0.5 level at $6.37, that we're reaching that and bouncing off from there back to the upside. Something else that I wanted to show you guys is that we are also then having a new range, and that will be the reaccumulation range before we continue to go to the upside. And that range is here from the bottom of the candle body to the wick, and you see the 0.5 is in the middle of it. That will be our mid-range. So once we are losing the mid-range, you have to be prepared that we are going back down here into that big support cluster that has multiple times now held, and from where we got massive moves here to the upside, big swings back to the upside. So again, for now, I'm not looking at that. I'm focused on the 0.65 on the mid-range, and that will be a really good entry for a long position. So I have personally also stacked some limit orders for the running long position already to dollar cost average my position a little bit lower for my entry overall, and I still gonna trade this here to the upside to $8 and $9 and beyond potentially. So a huge upside potential if you are getting in positions right now around these levels. Then the next one is Coty. I have adjusted the entry level here already a little bit. Right now, of course, I would not enter because the indicators are not looking all too well, you know, so there's still the potential of that one final leg to the downside over the next 48 hours. So I'm a little bit patient here right now with all these things. So, but the entry level is at a 0.5 Fibonacci retracement at 12 cents and 4. So I want to see a reclaim of that back to the upside, and that we are holding the green box because we tested the bottom of it, of that big support level. So lose the green box and the trade is completely invalidated, and we had way lower than from what we are seeing right now, and I have to find a new entry. So but let's say on the daily chart we are able to close above $12.04, then it will be a good entry for me, and I will take the first profit at 13 cents and 4, and from there trade is then back to the upside. Remember, I also mentioned the 15% level is a big resistance level. So if you were in that trade from all the way here, I hope that you took some profit or at least had your stop losses adjusted, that you did not get round-tripped here on that trade overall. Solana, yeah, Solana is also a little bit in trouble here. I adjusted also here a little bit the entry level for the original trade. So if you're still in Solana, wait, let me actually see what happened. Yeah, no, that big red candle stopped you out for sure. But the new entry would be here around $158.6. Right now, would I enter this at the current level where we are at? No, I would not enter that. I would wait that the price potentially comes back to the downside here. That would only change if we would be able to break above $164. Then I would enter from there, because again, there is a former support level that turned now resistance. If I draw here a line around 64, so here you'll see that. Let me just make this another color quick. So here we go, guys. So you see here support, 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 and now we broke it. So expect that this, I should have made it red. A little bit confused here. So we should expect this to be acting as short-term resistance on the way up. And that's why I want to be sure, if I'm not able to catch it at 158, and also you guys, that I wait for the break of that resistance and enter only then and trade this back to the upside. So now, if you have not seen it yet, we also created an inefficiency on the way down with these big liquidation candles. So, and that also needs to get filled at some point, you know. So when you're looking at this, we got partially on the way down filled. So between here and there's now also an efficiency all the way up to $169 that needs to get filled. And that works on every single candle, you know, here to the downside that we have seen, also in WIF. So WIF is also one of the coins that I'm holding. And here you see how perfectly we started to bounce off the 0.5 back now to the upside. So that is also a position that I'm holding, and where I now added a little bit exactly at that level. Now, what is the first level where I would take profit? If you would get in now, the first level where I would take profit is $3.12, you know, because there was major support turned now into resistance because of that break to the downside. So there I want to take a little bit chips off the table just to protect myself for a potential another move here to the downside and another rejection. Well, and here you see again what I mean with these inefficiencies. I actually have to go for that to a daily chart. You see a little bit better because it's from candle to candle. So here's the inefficiency that we have not tapped yet, from $2.93 to $3.21. That needs to get filled at some point. And we are, of course, still in a bull market, so I expect that we continue to go to the upside rather than seeing major continuation moves to the downside in the imminent short term. So also here on the 4-hourly chart, we are heavily overextended. On the stochastic RSI, MACD is printing lighter red candles, showing us that selling pressure is already fading a little bit away, and also the RSI starts to point it to the upside. So as soon as the RSI, I would say maybe, let's see, is there already a small divergence? No, not yet, not yet. So there's no real divergence yet. So, but there might be, you know, in 8 to 12 hours, maybe we have on the 4-hourly chart a nice divergence, bullish divergence that can then also catapult us back into the $3 level and potentially higher. So I want to have another look here on the in the chat, guys. Wow, guys, amazing, amazing. Over 150 people here, guys. Like this the stream, you know, the more people liking the stream, the more people are going to see that. Go and obliterate right now the like button, guys. I want that more people come here into the stream. Let me see what's going on in the chat. No, guys, I can tell you the volume is fine, you know, so I'm really not sure what's going on here with the volume. Everything is fine volume-wise, you know, but of course, I'm going to check later. I'm going to check if it's low, but I don't believe, you know, so it's not like that I don't believe you guys, you know, I just think something wrong on your side, you know, not on my side. Let me have a look here quick. Did somebody write me about that? No, it's fine. It's fine, guys. So yeah, let's move on here because we're almost done and I have to run. Theta is another one that I'm watching right now. So imminent resistance at $2, support at $1.80. That's also a level where we bounced off from. Here on the potentially today we are bottoming out based on the stochastic RSI. The RSI is also turning around here a little bit already. So potentially tomorrow we get our reversal. The symmetrical triangle that we are seeing here, even though we broke down, could still play out if we tomorrow come back here to the upside and close the daily candle within the apex. You know, so I have seen this many times in prior bull runs where we got fake outs like that to the downside exactly in this area, and then price came back up and then we broke to the upside. So be prepared for that. If you want to get into Theta, do it around the $2 level. Don't do it before. If we break lower, then I will update you with other entries. But we could go as low as $1.40 here. So, and that would be a major level where I would buy heavily, because I'm pretty sure from there we get a really strong bounce back to the side. Then the last coin that we're talking about quick is INJ, because INJ is today one of the strongest coins performing here. Now not anymore. We were here over 10% up today, and then it got slammed down. But another one would be Bluezell. But I'm not trusting Bluezell, guys. You know, there's DWF is the market maker. They're pumping and dumping a lot of coins all the time. So I am not really a coin that I want to get involved with. So here on INJ, even though we had that big drop to the downside, we held the upward sloping support. So which is a key support level. Lose that support level and we most likely go here into the lower $20 levels, potentially even lose the $20 level here in the short term, if that would be happening. But we are testing here a former support level acting now as resistance. As you can see here, support, and always massive reactions around that level when we got into it. And we see the same now. You know, we see the same now. Yesterday, with that major move here to the upside, it got slammed down. Today, the same thing. We tried again to break this level, got slammed down. So that is major resistance. Once we are closing a daily candle above that, I would consider opening a position on spot and on leverage, because the upside targets, if we are looking on a higher time frame, so look at this here. So you see here the 1.618 is at $75. So, and that is of course a massive level, you know, so from current prices. So that is almost here 2x, 168% more or less to the upside. Now imagine you put there like 2x leverage only on that. You know, you're talking about almost 3.5x on that specific position here to the upside. You know, but even on spot, it would be absolutely fine. Also, only trade this on spot. Because of the massive returns, and I see reaching returns like that early September, October, November, around that time we could actually reach that. It depends all on how fast the Bitcoin dominance is dropping here over the next couple of months. But what I want to give you on the way before I'm leaving here is that July was always one of the strongest months overall in an election year. And that has never changed, ever. So I don't think that this year this will change and that we're gonna go from June in another bad month of July. And June was technically always a month where we locally bottomed out and started the upwards trajectory in an election year and in a bull cycle. So don't panic, guys. Just sit this right now out and we should be fine by Monday, Tuesday, in the worst case, in my opinion. So again, if we get a little bit lower, don't worry about that. be on the sideline, and I go tomorrow in more detail into altcoins, what I believe are good buy zones that we should keep an eye on and place some limit orders, or potentially then already get into tomorrow. So make sure that you're also tuning in tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna try to make more live streams in the futures. In the future, but yeah, preferably when I don't have a problem with my tongue, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you again then tomorrow.